Isn't this supposed to unlock with my face? I thought this was, oh, it's not that one. This is not the iPhone X or iPhone 10, the phone with the Face ID and the no bezels, the phone you've been hearing about for weeks that supposedly contains all secrets to the future of the universe. This is not that phone. This is the iPhone 8, and this is the iPhone 8 Plus. These are the phones that everyone kind of figured would come out this year. They're the same as the iPhone 7, just better in lots of little ways. If you're already an iPhone user, there's nothing terribly surprising here. Home button, still here. Headphone jack, still gone. So it looks familiar. Apple's even gone back to the glass and metal design of some of its older iPhones. These phones are so much nicer looking and more impressive to hold than the last ones. And I also really dig this new gold color. Since they are all glass on the front and back, you'd be right to be worried about breaking this fancy new plaything. I haven't broken either of these new phones, but it's only been a week and I do already have a couple of little scratches. I wouldn't say you need to baby them, but you might want a case just for your own peace of mind. Both models have slightly upgraded screens with wider color gamuts and that True Tone technology that automatically adapts your phone's white balance to whatever room you're in. They also have better stereo speakers, upgraded Bluetooth, and a bunch of other small changes like the ones Apple makes every year. All are good things for sure, but I can't say any of them have made a difference in how I use or feel about my iPhone. This might sound crazy, but the most important feature on the iPhone 8 might be a technology that's been on other phones for a decade. Lots of Android users know how great wireless charging is. You can just drop your phone on a pad and have that battery icon start filling up with green. It works just as it should on the iPhone 8. You might have to jostle it around a little to get it to charge, but mostly you just set it down and get on with your life. Since iPhone users are new to this very old tech of wireless charging, a couple of things you should know. First of all, it's not fast. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus charge dramatically more slowly on this Mophie pad I have than when I plug them straight into the wall. Totally fine for charging overnight, but I still keep a plug around for those last-minute top-offs. Seriously though, wireless charging is awesome. Apple's way late to the party, but I'm glad it's here. As usual though, most of the upgrades on the iPhone 8 are internal ones. There's the new processor called the A11 Bionic, which has a custom GPU and a separate chip for neural networks, and none of that needs to mean anything to you. But this thing runs more like a laptop than a smartphone. It's absurdly fast, and you notice it playing games or even just switching between apps. There's also a new camera in both phones. One 12-megapixel shooter in the iPhone 8 and two in the iPhone 8 Plus. The specs are about the same as last year, but they have a new design and a new sensor. This won't shock you, but the new iPhones take amazing photos and video. Apple's even changed its approach a little, tuning the camera software to make all the colors a bit more bright and vivid, so everything pops more than it used to. Really, all of the best stuff about the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus comes from that combination of the incredibly fast processor and the killer cameras. Put them together and suddenly the iPhone 8 shoots this beautiful 4K video at 60 frames per second, or slow motion 1080p video at 240 frames per second. On the 8 Plus, you get not just the portrait mode, which uses both cameras to do some soft background shots, and has gotten really good, by the way, but also a new feature that lets you reimagine your photo with super dramatic stage lights or perfect portrait lighting. Even beyond just taking pictures and shooting video, the camera and processor combine to make totally new stuff possible. With iOS 11 and the ARKit software, all sorts of cool augmented reality apps are starting to hit the App Store, and all of them run really well. I'm still not 100% sure why I would want to look at a giant beating heart in the middle of the office or just sit here measuring things all freaking day, but I can, and it works. Normally, I get about the same life from an 8 that I did from a 7. A day for the 8, a day and a third from the 8 Plus. You'll want to charge both every night, obviously. But as soon as you fire up AR apps or even just shoot lots of high-res or high frame rate video, you're gonna want that charging pad nearby. In a lot of ways, actually in most ways, the updates Apple made to the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus feel straightforward. They're what you'd expect, especially when you compare them to the other iPhone that Apple announced this fall. At the same time, the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are truly excellent phones. If you can deal with the size, you should get the 8 Plus. You're gonna want the extra battery and all the power in those two cameras. I would bet this phone is going to do more and better AR things than any Android device, and it's probably the best and most powerful phone camera out there. It's everything an iPhone should be, even if it doesn't feel brand new. Oh, and good news, it doesn't cost $1,000.